is Richard Lawrence, and I'm from England.
And I'm Tamar Lawrence, and I'm from Jamaica. We're missioners, we're volunteers here at Siparuta Mission Academy.
And what we do is we run the place. The administrators, she's the principal of the school, and I'm the director of the school.
Here on a whole, in terms of Guyana, we ended up because we were both living in Jamaica at the time, and we decided that, okay, we're ready now to do mission, because I wanted to do it from years ago, even before we met. Because I met David Gates, I think it's either 2007 or 2008, and I was really impressed. I remember he came, when he was to come, I read his book, and I was so excited, so I kept getting phone calls. Tammy, guess who's coming? Uncle David's coming, Uncle David's coming. I was so excited. And I went and I met him, and he spoke, and I had £11.80. That was all the money I had, £11.80. And I gave it to him and asked that the Lord will bless the ministry, and that, you know, he'd say hello to Auntie Becky and stuff. And I felt so pleased that I was able to give to mission and stuff, and I was quite excited about it. And so when I left university, I said, Lord, I'll give you 5 years of my life as a missionary. I love mission, so I'll give you 5 years, and then the rest of my life I'll be a journalist, because that's what I studied. And I was supposed to go to Mexico, but it didn't happen. Like, I packed, I said my goodbyes, I did the whole, I'm doing my part, Lord, you'll do the rest, you do your part. And when June 28 came, 2007, and nothing happened, I thought, Lord, this is not how you work. How does this happen? It's not supposed to be like that. You're not fair. And I was arguing with the Lord. And my sister said to me, maybe the Lord's not saying no, he's probably just saying wait. So wait. So I waited, you know, I met my husband. We were both interested in mission, and then we were in England at the time, moved to Jamaica, and I worked as a journalist. And then 5 years later, I didn't even realize it was 5 years after that, I'm giving 5 years to the Lord and the rest is mine. And he said, you know, Tom, I think it's time for us to go mission. I was like, really? And I was already signed up to Adventist Volunteers. So my husband signed up to GMI. Yeah. And we thought, whichever one answers first, we'll go. And we got contacted by the administrators for Siparuta Mission Academy, and we thought, all right, yeah, we'll go. And we started packing, and we said, you have like 2 weeks to get back to me. And we're like, we don't have a penny. How's this gonna work? And we just started preparing, and I said, Lord, is the same thing gonna happen again, where we get ready but then it doesn't happen? But this time it did happen. And just before I got here, this is what, 2013? 2012. 2012. And I realized, I said to my mom, wait, this is weird. I was supposed to give 5 years of my life to the Lord, and the rest is supposed to be mine. Now it's 5 years later that I'm going to mission. How's that gonna work? Let's see if he's gonna take the rest of my life. And we got here, and a year later we realized that, okay, this is it. We're missionaries for life. We're MFLs. And I'm like, Lord, how is it that you work like that? I'm supposed to give you 5 years and the rest is mine. You gave me 5 years and showed me that, you see, you want 5 years of that. It's not gonna work, you know? So that's how, you know, that's my story of how we got here.
It's quite funny how one person remembers it and how another one recalls it. Because as I was coming to the church, I'm newly converted. You know, I got baptized in 2009, and by 2013 I was in mission. But when we were courting, it was mission was why we really got close. I always say that, you know, if you make a decision to follow the Lord, I think the mission is the happiest place you can be. And so we ventured into that. But before that, I said I wasn't ready. I'm not ready, Lord. I've been in the church 5 minutes, you know.
Need time.
Yeah, I need time. Well, it wasn't literally, but it felt like that. It felt like I need to know more and I need to do more. And you know, I got in life you go through trials and tribulations, and we went through a little trials here and there, and it came, and it made me search for God. And as I was reading Acts of the Apostles, I was just taken over by it. It felt like it drawed me back to God, and I said, look at these people, and look how Paul changed his life around. Look how Peter changed from being ashamed to being bold and not ashamed of spreading the word. Look at the transforming power of the word, and I felt it changing me. And I'll get my wife to read, with me sometimes, and we felt empowered. So we went to the library one day, and they had like an internet cafe part, and we just said, we should sign up to it was her idea. We should sign up to any of these websites that will take us to be missionaries. So we signed up to two. I signed up for GMI,
and I rewrote my Adventist volunteers,
and it was where we had a contact first from a place in Italy, Cyprus, and it looked promising. And the only reason we didn't go there is because they weren't ready for a missionary couple to go. So when I heard from GMI, and we prayed about it, because we had a few people contact us from the different administrations, and it was where we went with the first one, and we prayed about it, and it felt good, and we came, and we're here, and we've been here since then, and that was January of 2013.
And it was so different as well to 2007 when I wanted to go mission. It's like the money just kept coming, and it was at the Christmas break, so there were companies that were saying, because we wrote a sponsorship letter, and companies were saying, we should ask before because we spent all our money on advertising, and businesses were closed. So we tried to go to all Adventist companies and stuff, and we're like, school starts January, we're supposed to get there, the administrator is in the jungle, there's no way to contact him. We're like, Lord, okay, is it gonna happen again? But then even the day we were supposed to buy our tickets, the day we didn't have enough money, and we're like, how do we do this?
I convinced you.
Yeah, he convinced me actually.
Because we didn't have enough money. We started, I said, honey, come. No, come. And I grabbed her hand, and try not to look strange in the street. And we walked down to the travel agency, and we sat down, and in the back of my mind saying, Lord, you know what's in my account, because I just came from the bank. I know what's in my account too. But as we purchased the tickets, the woman, we got talking to her, and she got inspired, and she's taken up her commission.
Yeah, when she checked her account, and she realized that even if she took off this much off the tickets, we're going to be broke. And she says, you're going to go be volunteers, and you're broke. How are you going to do this? And she looked, and she took off her commission off it as well, to ensure that we had some money left in our account. And so we paid like way less for the ticket than we're supposed to. And then after the tickets were purchased, at the same time, I got a call from somebody from the conference in Jamaica saying, I am at the church. And this was like a few minutes from where we were. He said, I'm at the church, and I've got 10,000 Jamaican dollars for you. Come and pick it up. So it's like, now we have our tickets, we have money in the bank, and we had that money come in, and it was just so amazing.
And a lot more money came in just prior to coming, and it was so perfect, because when we had landed here, it turned out that the extra money that we came with was what we needed for the visa, to pay for the visa, and to travel up to the project. So God works in strange and mysterious ways, more than we can know. God is leading His people, so it's our job to be willing to step out in faith. I'm not saying you should be senseless,
Yeah.
but you would know what's senseless and what is faith when you're in tune with the Lord. And all I can say is that if you are thinking about doing mission,
Don't hold back.
yes,
Don't hold back. Before we came here, the previous administration, they said, well, each person need to have 100. Well, each need to be able to provide 100 US each month to add to food and gas and everything. And we're like, okay, Lord, we don't have that. Where's that gonna come from? I knew nothing about getting sponsorship for every month. We've never done that before. But he was so desperate. He said, all right, just come. You know, we were so blessed by him. He said, just come, and God will provide while you're here. But then we came, we had no phones, absolutely no way of contacting the outside world when we got here. We actually thought we were coming to sleep under a tree or something. We had no clue what we were coming to. But we were really excited anyway, you know, just the whole idea of mission, and you don't know where you're going to, and it was quite exciting. So when we came and we had just a little room with some bunk beds, and it was like, okay, we're actually in a house, you know. We didn't expect to be in a house and stuff. But we came and there was food provided. You know, I came with all the little necessities that I know I'd need, especially as a woman, to last me for a while until God. And we've lacked nothing since we've been here. Absolutely nothing. I've had things that when I was out working, I wanted and I couldn't buy. But now the Lord finds the best ways of giving. We have one sponsor. There's a really good friend of mine in England who I know she doesn't really have, but every month she sends $5 US to us, and we're so blessed to have that. She's been doing it since about November, December. But we live off school fees. The school fees come in as and when they come in, and that's what buys food for all of us on campus, and it buys toilet paper and stuff for the rest of us. And when our family will send money, like for Christmas or something, we'll buy like the big pack of soap to last us for a long time, and bathing soap and toothpaste and stuff like that. When you do get the money, you buy enough, because you don't know when you're getting money again. And that's how you have to do it. But the money comes, God provides. We get to do things that we probably never would have been able to do. Like,
for instance, I got to fly a plane, and that felt really exciting. It's something that I've always wanted to do. When I was younger, I liked to jump out of the plane, but that's gone out of me now. I think the fear of the Lord is in me. But I got to fly a plane.
I know we went to Prima for Easter. Because we're now missionaries for life. The 6 of us here, the saucified 6 as we call ourselves. The 6 of us at SMA, we having gone through a really rough time. In January, we decided that, okay, the Lord really blessed us, and we're now on, you know, we could have been swayed in any direction, but here we are still standing for Christ despite the controversy that happened, and we're all still standing for Christ. We decided that, Lord, you must really love us, so we're going to serve you for the rest of our lives, even though we all planned to be missionaries anyway. But now we're MFLs, we're missionaries for life. And so we decided that, okay, Easter, instead of going to home or something, we're going to help out other projects. So we went to Prima at DIC, and we helped to do some building there and some work. And when my husband were flying back, and it was just really nice it was first time in a small plane. My husband looked at me and he says, "Who's the CEO now?" Because in Jamaica, we
Had our own
started a
company,
little business, and it was, you know, taking its time to lift up we wanted to get, we were supposed to get, we tried to get money to start it, a loan from the bank, but the recession was going on. We had no collateral, nothing. But just before we're supposed to come, just as we got called to come to Sapruta, somebody contacted us and say,
invest.
I'm willing to invest in the business, to give you whatever money is needed to start it. And oh, it became a, okay now. Why now? We're thinking, Lord, why now? And I called my sister and I spoke to her, and, you know, she's like, pray about it, you know. So we decided that, all right, we'll hand over the business to the person, you know, he can have it.
And that was a strange thing, because it's where, you know, with the project idea, we would have been, you know, you could say financially all right, you know, taken care of, and instead of taking up the deal, we gave away our deal to them, and no one would ever do that. That's like burning your bridges.
And it's not because they wanted it. It was not oh, we want your business. It was just you can, and it was a hard decision, because his family, they're all into business, and for him, he's like, we need to start a business so we can be self-sustained. When we're on mission, there'll be money coming in. I need to provide for my family, so while we're on mission, you know, then we'll have our money coming in and stuff. So choosing to hand over the business was really difficult. And we were talking about it a few days in Prima. So flying over, and we're like, here we are in an airplane looking at the savannah and the mountains and everything. And he just turned and he said, who's the CEO now? God's the best CEO there is. He's the best person we could ever work for. There's absolutely nothing we could have achieved. Well, there's no way we could have achieved all of that without him.
Even like if you achieve that in life, you don't do it together sometimes.
No.
It's like one person's working over here, because my wife, when she worked in Jamaica, it's where she part of the media, and she was up and down the country. We never spent time together. You know, if I was a director of another company, a director like of marketing, and I was one side of the country and she was another side of the country, and it wasn't a nice feeling, you know, newly married and spending most of your time apart and separate. And
so you leave the job and think maybe that will help, but then financially you're struggling, and it was, you know, crazy trying to get it together. I told you, the Lord showed me that. See, that 5 years that you wanted to do by yourself, you sure that's what you want? You know, the rest of your life to be that? And, you know, since we've become missionaries, yes, we've been hit. You know, we're still being hit right now.
Being a missionary is not easy.
It's not.
The devil is a strong foe, but he flees by the sound of the praise of God, and that's why you have to keep praising God. You have to praise Him through the hard times,
Yeah.
and through the fantastic times that you're having, through the difficult times, through the, you know, spectacular times. You need to give Him your life, and by doing that, there's nothing better.
But you learn, as a missionary, you learn what it really means to put on the whole armor. You learn what it means to truly be on the battlefield. Because I always used to say, you know, going to church every week, you go to the same Sabbath school with people who believe the same thing that you believe, and you argue the same points, hoping each other will accept your way of seeing the point. And then you go to Bible studies and it's the very same thing. And I'm like, instead of having all this knowledge and becoming spiritually a beast, why not go out there and let's share it and stuff. And I always wonder, okay, Lord, putting on this whole armor, how's this going to work? But you learn really fast what it means to grab the armor and put on when the devil is throwing darts in every direction, coming from friends, family, any way he wants to send it. And you really learn what it means to stay on your knees and to pray without ceasing.
Okay, this project, it's a secondary school. The school is named Sapruta Mission Academy. also known as SMA, and it's located in the eastern side of Guyana. It's the last village before you get to another country called Brazil. It's
Suriname.
It's on the border of Suriname, and it's where here it's an Amerindian village. It's reservation land, and it's owned by the Amerindians, the indigenous people. So it is where the cultures, their beliefs, their traditions all clash with Christian belief. And what we do is we try to bring a new way of living, because not having God in your life, you can see how it steers them into doing all sorts of wrong. There's all sorts of trouble going on in this village, but having the Word of God here and this school here is a good avenue to educate the children, for one, because this is the only secondary school in this village, and two, to bring and administer the Word of God to them in their lives, and having godly characters, hopefully, godly characters to follow, because sometimes they hear the name Jesus, but some people need to see the Jesus in you. So the project has been here since 2007, 2008, well, at the end of 2007, and it is where it has grown. It has grown from strength to strength, and it keeps doing for everybody that takes over, every administrator. And I've just built on what the last administrators have done, and somebody else one day will build on what I have done. So what we need to do is keep doing the work, keep moving forward.
We have 46 students at the moment. We have Form 1 to Form 5. The Form 5s they're on the coast at the moment, because they have one of their exams on Thursday, and the boats only leave Mondays and Sundays and Thursdays, so they have to leave on Sunday so they can be there for their Thursday exams. The grades are pretty good. These kids, they're not the best at reading and understanding. It's the first set, if you want to put it, of educated people in this village. Their parents can't really help them at homework because their parents are not educated, and it's hard to try and get them interested in education. At first the kids would only come because it gets them out of going to working in the farm or working in the bagdam, but now the police have really been pushing where a child up to the age 16 or 17, a child has to be in school. So now they have to be here, and I have to show them the register as to who is here. So they're coming, but I've never met a set of people with more perfect memories. They have really good memories, but reading and comprehending stuff, and they love to read as well, but they don't comprehend very well. But so it takes a lot of patience on the part of the teachers to actually get them to where they're supposed to be, and you keep having to ask the Lord to show me a different avenue of helping them to understand and to get in it. But they are improving. Major improvements are happening, and we know it's because of the Word of God.
We only have at the moment staff from Guyana. They're Adventist young people, and they come from all sides of Guyana, and but we have had people in the past from America, and it's nice to have that cultural balance, because they get to see that the world is not just Siparuta.
We have 6 staff at the moment, including ourselves. 4 are Guyanese, and Sir Ravi, he's 21, he's from this village. He came to this school when it started, but he was one of he's always the type of child who really was interested in God. So the previous staff, they saw that in him. So he went on to BMMC, and then he went on to DIIC. So Sorry, BMMC is another one of Gama's schools, Bethany Medical Missionary College. Then he went to the one in Parima, Davis Indian Industrial College. So he did those, and now he's back in the village. He's the first elder of the church, and he teaches here. These young people, they could have been doing anything. They left secondary school with really good grades, and here in Guyana, if you leave with good grades, you can go straight into a job. They could have been teaching anywhere on the coast. He had the opportunity to go be a doctor in Cuba, and he gave that up so he could be here. Each of them could have been doing anything, but they're here working for the Lord and choosing to be MFLs, to be missionaries for life. And having them is really a blessing. It's really put stability at Siparuta Mission Academy, because having staff that would be here for 6 months and then they're gone, it wasn't the best for the children, as we've noticed, because as they say, Miss, with each teacher that comes, they'll start over like we don't know what like we've not done anything before. And these students, they're Amerindians, they take a while to warm up to people and to be willing to talk in the class. So they'll just sit down and take whatever you give them, and they'll accept it. So they won't say, we've already done that. They won't. They'll just take it and pretend like it's the first they're hearing it, and you're teaching it, and you're thinking they don't know this. When they do know it, they just sit there and they won't say anything.
But in terms of being educated and being educated to teach in schools, yes, it does help, and God uses the talents and gifts that He's given you. But He qualifies as well. The Lord qualifies.
God calls, He qualifies.
Yeah,
Granny tells us that all the time.
And it is where God will give you the skills. You soon realize that the books that you never understood, you begin to understand just by reading the text. And you teach it so well, like you've known it for a long time. And this is what mission is about. God, improving his workers and sharpening His tools. And by doing this, you become a better person. And so, in terms of being educated, God is a source of knowledge and wisdom. And this is where we need to focus our attention. And by doing that, He will endow us with gifts unknown to us.
That's true, because the training that I've received here, I actually thought, no way can I teach English. I was the worst. I would write it. I didn't even know how poorly I spoke it at the time. Definitely not perfect now, but I'm like, I've never seen subject and verb agreement before. I've never seen, and I went to university, but it was just so different. So the things I have learned, the training that God has given me, it would be really unfair to take it and use it elsewhere. I have to use it for Him because He trained me. Yes, there's nowhere else I've worked before that they trained me to do what needed to be done. In all the jobs, people rather talk about you rather than help you to improve. Here, God doesn't do that. God trains you. He sees where you're lacking and He trains you.
And even when there are a lot of companies out there that train their staff, but it's to better their company. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to train you for another company. So why would you expect God to do the same? It's like He will give you the skills. And yes, you have a choice. Some companies you don't have a choice. You have to spend 5 years there or whatever. Mm-hmm. But here you have a choice. And once you give that choice to God, He'll give you more gifts.
And He'll expand.
Yeah.
I know it's easy to say, oh, God gives and we don't need anything, but we are desperate for a kitchen. We're desperate. The little one we're in right now, if it rains, you can't be there. The fireplace needs a proper spot. You go and you're dressed for school and you're having breakfast. You were at school the whole day smelling of smoke. And the animals, they come in and they sleep on the tables because everything's right there opened, and you have to, the little spot where the stove, because we have a stove inside, it's really small. We keep praying because the gas canister is right by it. and the spot is small, you have to be hanging over, you know, so it's like, it's really, it's working, of course, and we're really grateful no one's hurt, because God would not allow that to happen. But we are desperate for a kitchen. We've already started, we've cleared the spot. We're just waiting on the Lord to send the money and the necessary equipment and people to build it.
So the stuff that we need in bullet point form is a new kitchen, and it is where we need more solar energy. We have energy at the moment, and it's doing really well, but we could do powering the power tools.
The village?
Oh, in the village? No.
They have a temperament, they have a really, they have the same generator system, because it's in the jungle. We're really far from civilization, so.
Yeah, so in terms of electricity in the village, yes, there is electricity in the village, but at this particular time, the generator is broken, and we never know when it's going to come back on. It broke once before we came, and it had taken about over a year to come back on, a year and a quarter. So, you know, and getting fuel out here in the jungle, which takes 3 days sometimes to even get things from the mainland, you end up saying it's too expensive.
Yeah.
And the first way of when you go to a company, when you first go there and run it as an administrator, you think, how can I cut down costs? That's the best way to save money. Now, the best way to make money is to save money. So I said, I have to get rid of the fuel in terms of the generator. And we got solar, and it saved us for every month to about 25,000 Guyanese, which is about just under 120, 150 US dollars a month, which is big out here. You know, we have to think of where we are. That's big. Yeah. And you know, we plan to save more, so we need a new farm. It's not a new farm. We need to expand our farm, because having our own stuff, producing our own stuff, one, cuts down the costs of importing from the mainland, and two, we can distribute to the village, local village, and to the mainland.
We also need a boys' dorm. We need somewhere for a male. At the moment, they live below our house in the same one room we started in. Or 2 male staff, they're down there below us. So we really need, and I think we should have boys moving on campus September, and we have nowhere to put them. So we could do with male house. And we also need another staff house, because we have our 2 females. They're downstairs, the girls' dorm. Really nice, perfect. But if we're to get a family to come on campus to live, we have nowhere to put them. We don't have many housing at all.
Yeah. So in terms, those are our main needs. But what is always needed, and is always on the list, is staff. You know. More than anything, more than I think money or anything, is staff, because staff bring, and I don't know, they bring their skills, they bring their culture, they bring something that these kids can open their eyes up to, because we're here for the project. Yes, it's nice to have luxuries and stuff, and we don't, you know, we keep our needs basic, but the project is what we're here for. So as long as we can get the school up and registered with the Guyana board, what we need here is windows.
We need windows on the schools and proper doors. And
once we have it registered, one day we could have have our exams here, because for the children to have their exams done, they have to travel a day to the mainland and then spend all the time out there.
Provide food
themselves, and it's very financially difficult for them, and you feel it for them, even when they want their teacher to be close by so they can revise, because they have to be away from school for a week just to be there for the next exam, and they lose out on a week of school. We need proper doors and windows for that, so then we can be registered as a place where we can do exams.
And we need partitions inside the school. We got some desks last year we're really happy for. So we need windows for the school, proper doors, and partitions.
Don't forget wiring. wiring, and I would like a plumbing for the school in terms of the laboratory sections and stuff. We have an outhouse at the moment, and I know most of you won't understand what that is, but Google it.
The kids don't mind it. It's what they grow up on anyway. It's what they have at home, so they're set up.
But the only problem with that is that it builds up in terms of the smell, and you always have to you keep moving the outhouses, because once it's filled, you cover it up and start again. But if you had a proper system, it's where it will always stay put where it is.
MFL literally means missionary for life. It is choosing to give your life to God. It's choosing to work for God no matter the cost. Going wherever you have to go, doing whatever you have to do, being with God for the rest of your life. No matter where you are, no matter the discipline you're in, you can choose that, okay, I'm a teacher, but I'm a missionary for life. I'll go out there and I'll spread the word. I'm a lawyer, but in everything I do, I'm a missionary for life, in the heart. But ideally, we need volunteers going out there to spread the word. But wherever you are, you can choose to be a missionary for life, working for God for the rest of your life.